Katie, and today I have a short and simple morning flow. It looks like Hudson's gonna hang out too for this video. But I like to keep the morning flows short and simple because the last thing I want to do in the morning is get out of my warm bed and step onto my mat and do yoga. So I think if I keep it short and pretty basic and nothing too demanding, that's something that motivates me to actually get out of bed when I'm supposed to and step onto the mat and do a little bit of movement to wake my body up, to warm my body up before the morning starts. So today we'll start in a seated position. Just take a moment here and close your eyes. Get settled in your seat wherever you are. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. Lengthen your spine. Get strong in your posture. Then your next inhale, circle both arms up. Gaze up. Press your hands together. And then exhale, release them back down to the mat. Again, same thing. Inhale, circle up. Hands together. This time, clasp your hands, rotate your palms up towards the sky and press them up. Trying to keep your shoulders away from your ears. Take another inhale here. And as you exhale, release. This time, twist over to the right. Bring one hand on the outside of your knee and the other hand straight behind your back. So take another inhale here. Find length in your spine. Lift from the center of your chest and then twist back, gazing over your shoulder behind you. As you come forward, keep this front hand glued at the knee. Inhale the other arm up overhead. Keep both sit bones rooted. Getting a side stretch here. So trying to reach through the crown of the head, reach through the center of the chest, and reach through the hand to find length on that whole side body. Inhale, circle back up, come back to center, and do the same thing. Both arms up overhead. Exhale, twist over to the opposite side. Hand on the outside of the knee, other hand right behind your spine. Inhale, lengthen your back. As you exhale, twist a little bit deeper, guiding from the chest, gazing behind you. And again, keeping the hand rooted at the knee. Inhale, circle the other arm up, trying to get long in the spine as you bend over. And then exhale, slowly rise back up. I'm going to come to our hands and the knees, and I'm going to face you for this one. So come into a tabletop position, both hands planted in front of you, knees right under your hips. And as you inhale, guide your right hand up overhead. Sometimes I like to really open my chest towards the ceiling and get that heart opening. And as you exhale, thread the hand underneath both shoulders and then plant that shoulder onto the ground. So you're gonna have this other hand here for kind of traction, and it's like you're trying to stretch in between your two shoulder blades here. So let your head rest heavy, let your hips either stay square. Sometimes I like to lean my hips over to the right, or even extend this opposite leg out to get more weight into the shoulder. Long, slow, deep breath here. And exhale, coming back up, find your tabletop again. On the other side, inhale, left arm up. Exhale, thread the arm, plant the shoulder. Find your balance here. Find that stretch in between your two shoulder blades. Option to extend the leg if you want. One more breath in here. And then exhale, slowly rise back up. Back to your tabletop, moving into some cat-cow. So same thing, hands right underneath your shoulders, knees under your hips. Maybe tuck your toes under for a little bit more balance. And as you inhale, let your belly drop, shift the center of your chest forward and let your shoulder blades roll back. As you exhale, drop your head, let your head get heavy, suck the belly in and round your back. And then moving with your breath, just a couple flows here. Inhaling up, heart forward, belly drops. Exhale, down and rounding. Belly pulls in, tailbone reaching towards the back of your knee. One more time, inhaling up. And exhaling down. And then from here, back to a neutral spine. Step the left leg straight back behind you. So keeping the hands right underneath your shoulders. Really charge up through that back leg. And notice what this left hip is doing. So sometimes I like to really balance into this right leg, but let the outer left hip roll down. get strong in your spine. So that means pull the belly in and reach through the crown of your head to get a really strong, straight spine. So either holding here or maybe lift that back leg. Notice what you're doing. I get a little bit weak or bendy in my low back and I let that drop. So pull the lower belly in. I like to imagine these two frontal hip bones lifting up towards my armpits. So this should be working your core already if you're really getting strong and straight and really dropping that outer left hip in line with the other hip. Option here to float the right arm. And take a deep breath in, reactivate that lower belly. Pull the belly button up towards your chest. An option to hold, option to maybe just rest here. If you'd like to add movement, as you exhale, curl tight into a ball. Knee to nose, elbow to knee. And then inhale, lengthen, find that same strong spine. Exhale, knee to chest. Slow and controlled, inhale, lengthen back into monkey. One more time, exhale. Slow and controlled, rounding the back, suck the belly in, push the floor away with your hand and your knee. And then inhale, lengthen back out. Then bring both hands and knees back to the mat. Take a moment and then switch sides. So right foot reaches back, really charge up through that right leg. Bring in the lower belly and try to shift the center of the chest forward a little bit more. Guide your shoulders together behind you. And as you inhale, lift through that right leg. Option to float this left arm if you want. Let the outer left hip drop down. See if you can pull the lower belly in a little bit more. Shoulder blades together behind you. And same thing, option to hold here. And just work on that balance. Deep breaths here. If you prefer movement on an exhale, knee to chest. Elbow to knee, round the back, push the floor away, strong in the belly. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, coiling in. Inhale, lengthening. One more time, check with that lower belly. And then exhale, coming back out. And then bring both hands and knees to the mat. Bring your knees a little bit wider than your hips. Let your hips sink back and your hands walk forward. Coming into a child's pose, forward head on the mat. And take a deep breath in here. Fill your chest all the way, fill your belly all the way. And as you exhale, let your hips get a little bit heavier onto your heels. And then plant into your hands, come back to that tabletop just for a moment so you can tuck the toes under, lift your hips up and back, coming into a downward facing dog with bent knees. So I like to start with the bent knees so you can warm up the legs, especially in the morning. So maybe pedal out the feet, one heel to the ground at a time. And then when you're done with that, keep the knees bent and just look at your alignment of your hips and your legs to your torso. So really lift the sit bones up towards the ceiling, even if your knees are still bent, even if your heels are off the ground. And then guide the chest back towards the knees or the thighs. Push the floor away with your hands, and then maybe work on straightening the legs. Take a deep breath in here. Like in between your hands, shift forward, coming to a high plank. You might have to adjust the length of your hands to your feet. An option to be up here on the balls of your feet, or maybe onto your knees. But wherever you are, starting with your foundation. So strong hands, wide fingers, and really charge up through the legs. Same thing as that monkey. Reach through the crown of your head, out through the center of your chest. At the same time, you're reaching through your heels. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, come back to down dog. One more time, same thing. Shifting forward, back to that high plank. Notice if the hips are dropping. Lift the hips up. Shift the center of the chest forward. Get strong in the legs. Get strong in the belly. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, back to down dog again. And this time, step the right foot forward in between your two hands. Drop that back knee and come to a kneeling lunge. Let's take a moment onto that front knee and start to lean into that front knee to get a stretch into the front of the left hip. Inhale, circle both arms up. Option to stay here on the knee if that feels good, or if you're looking for more heat, you can lift that back knee up. Take a deep breath and lift through the chest. Try to lift your torso up and out of your legs. An option to come back down to that knee if you want, or stay up, and we're going to twist over to the right, opening our arms to a T. Maybe you're down on your knee, maybe you're up, and either staying here or dropping your back hand to your back thigh, and inhale, reaching up. Lift through the center of your chest. One more inhale here, and then windmill your arms. Come back down to that front knee, and just find your way to a wide stance here. We'll just switch sides. So bending into this opposite knee, find your kneeling stance here. Take a moment and just warm that up. Try to stay active in this low belly, lifting the chest. Inhale, circle both arms up. Exhale, bend a little bit deeper into that front knee. Option to tuck the back toes under, hover that back knee, holding there. And then bringing your arms to a T, either knee down or knee up, twisting over to the left. Deep breath in here, strong in the torso. Drop the back arm, lift the front arm. Inhale, rising back up. Coming back to this wide stance. And then just fold forward, let your head hang heavy. Get long in the neck. Grab your ankles or press onto the ground for support. And inhale, rise halfway up. Hands at your hips, lengthen your spine. And then heel toe your feet in so they're just a little bit wider than your hips. You want to sit back into a low squat. So if this is uncomfortable for you, you could put a block or something to lift your hips up, or maybe you can just support yourself up here as a modification. But if you can get this low, bring your hands to heart center. Use your elbows to press your knees out and really let your hips get heavy here. So close your eyes, take a deep breath in, get long in your spine, shoulder blades down away from your ears and together behind you. And then bring your right hand down, inhale your left arm up, gaze up at your hand. So kind of use this arm to press that knee open and kind of leverage your twist here. So option to stay here. If you feel open, you can drop this other arm behind your low back. And when I feel good, I like to wrap this arm around the knee and kind of bind both hands if that's available to you. So wherever you are, inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, slowly come out of it, come back to center, and then switch sides. So left hand down, other arm up overhead. Option to bring one arm behind your low back, maybe binding. Deep breath in, long spine. Exhale, slowly release, come back to center. And however you can, come out of that, crossing your legs, closing your eyes. Take one more really deep breath in here. Open your mouth and exhale. Take a moment and feel your heart beating. Feel your body a little bit warmer. Mine is. Thank yourself for taking a few minutes out of your morning and moving and pausing before starting your day. I hope this feels good and I hope this helps you. I'll see you next time.